General, this incident is very unfortunate, but there are some hard questions that the army must answer. The most experienced army, perhaps the most battle-hardened army in dealing with terror, whether it was in Punjab or in J&K, is unable to catch two unidentified attackers inside a military formation. This is where things should be more secure for the army, or is there more to it than meets the eye, General?
Gaurav, it's definitely an aberration, because what happens, but as rightly brought out, there are many units there. There's a corps headquarters there, joining units. Sometimes these people, but I'm sure by now everything may not have been revealed to us. We may not be aware of so many things. But invariably, an incident like this, when you have about 500 odd troops in a regiment over there, it's not very difficult to find out, because a roll call will easily reveal as to who's there and who's not there. The weapon, like I
would that have happened by now? It's 18 hours. A roll call would have happened.
100%, Gaurav. It would have happened by 6 o'clock only. Everything would be clear, who's missing and what it is. And there would be, but until and unless we identify who has done it, because even investigation, every individual must have been called right now and have been investigated as to what it is. After all, it's a South Indian regiment, yes, and it will not be difficult for them to identify who it is. If they know it, they will definitely come out of it. But yes, it is definitely a cause of concern, because if there are two people or one or whoever has done it, because something which has gone amiss. And something that has gone amiss needs investigation. And nothing will come out so easily. No loose statements must be made. Rumor mongering should take place, because definitely it's an internal thing and will be sorted out. And I'm sure the army wouldn't want to give a statement without finally confirming who it is. Because the unit definitely knows. There's no denying the fact that if there are two men missing, would they not know? Even if one man is missing,
what is the cause for concern, Colonel Rohit Dev? And before I bring in Manjeet once again, what would be a cause for concern? The unit definitely knows now. But would the unit, whether it is the senior JCO or the battery commander, since this is an RT, medium RT regiment, or the commanding officer, and both of you have been COs in your own time, should the CO not have known if something was brewing in his regiment, Colonel Dev?
Right, Gaurav, just two perceptions there. One is, yes, there are many ways, there are many indicators, people feel it, people reveal it. But I have been through many case studies. When I was commanding, I was under 9 Corps, and we attended a seminar when the army was very serious into suicide and fratricide cases. That time a lot of case studies came up.
Yes.
And I, as a commanding officer, while I was just attending there, I asked a question of my corps commander that time, General Bhalla, and I was very clear to ask him that, sir, you showed me 11 case studies. Tell me, how did you discern that it's a case of a person going to commit suicide? Because A, that revelation is not very, very obvious. B, in few cases I asked the question, how are you terming it as a suicide and not as a murder? Because
okay, but that's suicide related. So I want to remain restricted on fratricide for the moment.
I'll tell you one point of worry I have today. 2 days, a weapon missing with ammunition is the biggest cause to worry which I have as an ex-military commander. If it is missing, and we know that there's an FIR in the Civi Street also about that, there ought to have been in all stations, all units, all subunits, all sub-subunits, a thorough check of your kit and everything else to find out that particular weapon. Because finally, if that's the weapon used for this fratricide or that incident, it has come out in the vicinity from where the action has revealed itself. So that is my first point of concern, that what were the actions taken to find that rifle and that ammunition.
That because usually the mentality is, daba do khabar ko. Don't let.
They don't do that. No. But don't get me wrong. If that was the intention, there wouldn't have been no revelation to the police 2 days ago about a weapon gone missing. So I hear from my sources that it was revealed to the police that the weapon is missing, because they were having the apprehension that somebody must have picked it up from somewhere and taken it out to the Civi Street. So I don't know from where it was picked up, because it is very, very difficult to pick up today a weapon from the unit, because 99% of the units and the formations have got CCTV camera coverage 24/7.
Absolutely, which is the way it should be. But Manjeet, the police are very clear.
The army reported the case.
Excuse me, Manjeet, the police are very clear. The police are very clear. This is not terror related. The police are very clear. No one came from outside. On what basis are the police saying this and saying this on record?
Well, Gaurav, the police has already ruled out that this was not a terror attack. But the question is, even if it was a fratricidal incident, then who was involved? why these people were covering their faces. What was the motive behind? And if they managed to steal the Insas rifle, then what was the motive? Was there some internal feud going on? So this is what the police and the army authorities are now investigating. As these two men are still at large, it's still not known. As General Sir was telling us that a roll call will reveal whether any of the military personnel were missing. That will reveal whether this was a fratricidal incident or not. A court martial will also lead to that investigation and find out the truth. But the big question is how these men, even if they were outsiders, managed to enter a highly protected military station. And what was the motive?
General,
So
overall
and,
it's very clear, somewhere down the line the SOPs were not being followed.
Gaurav, very difficult to say. Even the FIR that has been lodged, as what the police says, it's on Tuesday evening. It's only Wednesday morning that the incident has occurred. So the weapon lost also was probably being investigated by the regiment to find out where it was. And only when they would have found that it's not located now, they must have lodged an FIR, knowing well how the terrorism and the kinds of incidents that can happen anywhere else. So it was more to be on the safe side. It's better to lodge an FIR if you have not been able to find the weapon within the regiment. Lodge an FIR, which I'm told they lodged it, and that's how on Tuesday evening the police says that they had an FIR. But whatever it may be, for all you know, those two men may still be within the regiment, having joined without anybody getting to know what's happened. Because it was 4:30 in the morning, they've shot, they've killed all 4 people, and they may have again rejoined the same unit without anybody knowing what it is. So unless every man is being investigated, I'm sure everybody must have been investigated in this case, you will find. It is not difficult to know who's done it and from where, as long as there is no conspiracy theory, as long as no terrorist-related incident, as long as there's nothing, no outsider involved. It's an insider job where an aberration, which should not have happened, has happened. Very, very unfortunate. That will be found out. Investigations are on, and as Rohit rightly says, I think by tomorrow or day after, everything will be out as to what exactly
If somebody's fired a weapon, there would be residue on their fingers, or if only those scientific tests are being carried out on ground, they would know if a person has changed his from plain clothes to uniform and is still there inside the unit, but only if that process is being followed. Perhaps we'll know more